Crayfar we saw go out earlier on. Right, we're waiting for the red lights to come on, then they'll go green. Who's going to make the start this time? It was Fogarty last time round. He made it into turn one perfectly in front of Aaron Slight. Just to reiterate what happened then, they're waiting, and another lousy start where the back row of the grid almost joins the front row. And it's Fogarty and Corser side by side. Luciari's up there as well. And look at Gobert round the outside on bike 17. And we're on board with Gobert. That is Gobert we're riding with. Fogarty to his right. And it looks like Gobert's got the lead. Has he? Yes! Gobert's in the lead. 17. Gobert, number 1, Carl Fogarty. Then it's 11, Corser. Luciari on 12. Then, of course, it's Slight on 3. Well, disastrous start for Aaron Slight. And he's gone past Luciari on 12. So Luciari slips back 1 place. Slight goes up 1.
And Foggy on the inside. Here comes Aaron Slight.
Slighty then up the inside of Corser and Foggy. He's gone past both the Ducatis. Wow, a shine of brilliance from Aaron Slight there. Aaron Slight, well, we've been praising him. In fact, I've got to say, in the break, I was sitting talking to some of the Honda crew that are here watching it in the studio with us, and basically, I did say that at the beginning of this season, I'd booked Aaron Slight a place at the very top of the tree, but
definitely,
unfortunately, not quite worked out for him this year, but that there showed what Aaron Slight is well capable of when he puts his mind to it and when the bike works for him.
Well, we shall find out. And Aaron Slight, very good at conserving his material. That's how he won it. Albacete, and he's right up with Anthony Gobert. Well, Aaron, I don't think he's conserving anything at the moment, Keith. He's going for broke. He wants the front.
This is a bit more like a superbike race,
Just
isn't it?
a bit.
Race 1 was
Here
a
bit
boring, but look at this. The power of the Honda. He gets it down on the ground, drives past, but wait for the brake. It's going to be Gobert on the brake. He's out of control on the brake, isn't he? Unbelievable. But no, Aaron Slight superbly hits the front. And really, when Slight is in this kind of mood, as we look back from Aaron Slight now, and Anthony Gobert, hasn't been worth looking back from him lately. But in this particular form, you've got to say, Slight, he looks like the world class that we know he is. So, Gobert no longer leads this race. It is now Aaron Slight, so turn those two around. Fogarty calls at Crayfar, and Keely's about right. Bontempi still in front of Reynolds. John Reynolds in 8th place. Baromino, Luciari, Mike Hale down in 11th. He'll be looking to try and improve on that.
He did in the first race.
He did, but that was there was a few riders went out in front of him. It was a good ride still, but look at Aaron Slight. Can he do something with this now? I've got the feeling that Anthony Gobert's going to be swallowed by the pack, because I don't think he's going to be able to keep this pace up. As he runs over the curb. We're looking back from Aaron Slight at Anthony Gobert, and the theory about Honda's not accelerating away looks to be reversed in that particular instance.
Here comes Foggy on the inside this time. Has he got him? Keely attacking Corser. Foggy's got second, surely this time. Here comes Corser.
Corser around the outside. He's been fast there all day long, hasn't he, Troy Corser? But Fogarty now in pursuit of Aaron Slight. Well, never seems to be a lot of love lost between Aaron Slight and Carl Fogarty. And Fogarty surely is going to relish this kind of a challenge where he's got to make up this gap.
Look at that move.
Fogarty on the move. We're looking at him from, of course, Anthony Gobert. As the temperature rises, you can see on the screen, absolutely.
About 10 degrees higher than it was a lap or two ago, that's for sure. Corser right there, number 11 behind Gobert in 4th place, 3rd and 4th. Keely in 5th, and then it's Bontempi appearing in 6th. Dear me. Yeah, it's been such a patchy year for Aaron. That winning Albacete on a circuit that suits the Honda least was very, very clever. He conserved his tyres brilliantly as the rest of them cooked them and sneaked away from everybody else in the last third of the race. This time he's conserving nothing. I think what you said when he went past, Keith, he's got fed up, hasn't he? He's just fed up of being second and third. He's just gone for it.
Well, he really has. It's a shame that he, I suppose there's only one way you could have done it better. He's caught and past Fogarty, of course. As Corser goes through now into 3rd place, Gobert slips back 1 more place. We did see him out of the seat a couple of times earlier in this lap. So I think Gobert, as predicted, somewhat smugly in this box, is sliding back through the ranks. He's not giving up, though, is he? He's a real toughen.
85 degrees and counting.
Yeah, Kawasaki's going up to melting point.
Well, I've seen the 14,000 RPM on that rev counter.
Several times.
Yes, which is frightening. Gives you an idea of what sort of machinery we're talking about here.
Carl Fogarty looked over his shoulder, straight into the eyes of the ultra-smooth Australian Troy Corser. And Corser, well, he wants those points that Fogarty sits on at the moment because his 2nd place in the championship is still not assured yet. So, at the moment, the man who holds the advantage over everyone is Aaron Slight, but look at this, Troy Corser gets a brilliant slipstreaming manoeuvre there on Carl Fogarty and goes through. Well, Corser, he has had a few comfortable little wins this year. He's looked good all year long. Has been consistently the smooth man out there, and Corser now sets off in pursuit of race leader Aaron Slight. Carl Fogarty, well, we talked about motivation earlier on in the race. He motivates himself pretty well every time out. Perhaps he's not willing to risk things as they are at the moment. He's letting Gobert go through now. Well, Carl Fogarty, for the first time, I think, in 1995, if not his entire life, looks to me to have been fairly relaxed about this. I don't believe you, Carl. You can look down as much as you like. I think you're going to take a rest in a minute.
Now, Carl hasn't pulled into the pitch. He's looking at the bike going down. Crafer's slipstreaming him. Can Crafer come past him?
Well, I think so. If Carl's spending all his time sort of looking down at the bike. But he did all this at the closing stages of race one. Mind you, he does it all the time, doesn't he, really, when it comes to a race, but usually in the closing stages of it. Yeah,
this is a bit... he doesn't get paranoid for the last couple of laps when he's on his own normally, not in the middle of a fight.
Well, maybe it's an intermittent fault. He's decided to stay out there to see if it clears, and we'll wait and see. I expected him to pull in, as did you, of course, at the end of that lap that he was looking over his shoulder. He certainly seemed to have had some kind of a problem in race one because he looked down at the bike then as well, but continued to win it.
Yeah, he looks very uncomfortable. The body language is just saying, I'm not happy all the time, isn't it? Mildly.
He's uncomfortable because he's not winning.
Exactly, Keith. Beat me to it, dear boy. He's still in front of Pierre-Georges Bontempi. We're looking at him, number one, Carl Fogarty, winner of the first race. And the bike is staying with the pack. He's not dropping off, but he's obviously very worried about something. Now, there's Chili, and that must be the Ducati pit. That's Virginio Ferrari. We just missed there. Carl Fogarty pulling in to the Ducati Works garage.
Number 67 was Mike Hale, the American that's over here for the first time on a Ducati, and John Reynolds now has slipped behind him as well. So Mike Hale, as in the first race, is making some progress here in the second race. Interesting character, a name definitely to mark for the future, for next year's World Superbike Championship, of course, where he will continue to ride. The Promotor Ducati is taking over from Andy Mecklau. Corser and Hale. Now, that's a good team. A really, really very, very good team indeed, and better than the team that Carl Fogarty actually has at the moment. That's assuming, of course, he signs for Ducati again next year, and the Motorcycle News hot gossip from Adam Duckworth seems to be that he's not going to. Chili then drops over the front of the man who has signed for Muzzy Kawasaki next year. I'm told, through the rumour mongering, I'm told that Anthony Gobert will stay with Muzzy Kawasaki.
Well, you're the first with that news, Keith.
That's what I've gleaned when I was in Barcelona last week.
Ah, nice one. You heard it here first. Let's hope it's right.
Let's hope it's right, absolutely. There is
Massimo Ottobre.
Ottobre is the man that Aaron Slight has just got past, number 59. But Slighty, really, he'll be getting his pit boards and thinking, great stuff. But he'll be disappointed, I am sure, when he finds out that Carl Fogarty has pulled in. For whatever reasons there may have been for Fogarty pulling in, he's going to still feel that little niggle. I wish he'd stayed out there so I could have beaten him on paper. It would have been something. I know as a rider how he'll feel about that. Slight Corser, Chili, Gobert, Crafar, Perovino. It's all as it was last time we looked, and we're in the closing stages now of the second race here in Indonesia.
Look at that, Keith, a 9-second gap. In World Superbike terms, that is absolutely enormous. We have a parkour there. Who do we have there?
That's a very, very good question, Julian.
Yes, one. If it's number 76, Keith, it's not in the race.
Light leads. Still in second place is Corser. Corser, though, unable to do anything about this. So it's going to be Aaron Slight that grabs 5 points back from his deficit, which is
13 points at the moment, making 8.
8 points then going into the final round in Australia in a few weeks' time.
And I think I can tell you who the parkour was. It was Brian Morrison, and I finally got to unscramble my brain and look at it on the Giacomoto Ducati.
Riding the All-Star?
No, the Giacomoto Ducati.
Oh, well, there you go. There is your race leader. 1 lap to go for Aaron Slight. Aaron Slight then on the Castrol Honda. We've not seen much of him, and neither has anybody else. He cleared off into the distance very early on, fired his warning shot, said, I've had enough of hanging around in second and third place. I need the points. I'm going for the win. And, well, he's not to be denied today.
Absolutely. It will be his 4th career World Superbike win, his 2nd one this year, his 2nd one on Honda, and for me, Keith, by far his most impressive.
It's been a very, very disappointing year for both team and rider.
And a lot of political reasons for that, as well as the normal racing problems,
you always find political reasons when things aren't quite going too good, because everyone wants to pass that old buck.
Eloquently put by an ex-rider. As Keith... Well, Keith, that's not Keith, that's Aaron Slight.
Yes, I'd still like it to be me, but unfortunately, age and capabilities have overtaken me. So, Aaron Slight leads, well, I've said it by a mile, and it's by probably more than a mile by now, as we look back down at the line, waiting for Aaron Slight to come across the line. It's going to be the New Zealander, Aaron Slight, who's going to take the win. In second place is still Troy Corser. Aaron Slight is wheeling, he's celebrating. He knows that he's got it onto the start and finish straight. A superb start and finish straight, length wheelie, unbelievably good.
Wheelie of the
great
year.
ride, and he's very, very happy indeed. And Aaron Slight will have the biggest smile in the paddock at the end of today. Great ride from him.